So while we were playing around and attempting to merge specific county data for the state of Nebraska, we encountered quite an interesting problem. So we are supposed to have statewide data that fits together, and it should have no distinct edges between the counties. But a problem that we encountered is that specific counties have sent in their shapefiles of their precincts, and it doesn't fit in exactly with the statewide data. So this is an attempt to merge this data, and this, in particular, this is Sarpy County. And one problem we see with Sarpy County is that there are these gaps in between Sarpy County and the rest of Nebraska. We can take a look. This layer is Sarpy County itself. And this is the data we received from the county with all the election data aligned to it. And there's 52 precincts in Sarpy County. And this is the statewide data with the census tracts that do not match with the precincts, but we know that these borders are exactly the correct borders. So there is a specific way that we can fix the borders of Sarpy County so that it matches and it's in the same perimeter that we wanted to be in within Nebraska County, within the state of Nebraska. And so I made a quick visualization of how we'd want to go about doing something like this. Let's say this is the data and this is the shape for Sarpy County, and this is the statewide data. So we really only want the intersection and the parts that are in the statewide data, but not in Sarpy County. And we don't want the parts that are in the Sarpy County data, but not in the statewide data. And so we can zoom into this corner to see kind of where this happens. So this top layer, this is the data we have from Sarpy County. And you can see some parts of it, there are overhangs that are outside of the county border in the statewide data. Although there are also these areas that are within the county border in the statewide data that are not included in the Sarpy County data. And so this causes problems when we try to create graphs or we try to analyze this as a whole, because then there'll be gaps in the adjacency. And so first of all, the first part of going about with fixing this is we want to create a layer that is just one whole polygon of Sarpy County, and that'll be this green area here. So within our census tract for the whole data, we can select just Sarpy County, like this, and in vector geoprocessing tools, we can dissolve this together, and this basically creates a new layer and merges all of this into one polygon. So we select the input layer we have selected, and we only click selected features only. So this will only merge the highlighted features, which is these polygons. Once we run this, we get a new layer that is just Sarpy County itself, and we can rename it Sarpy County, and this is just temporary. So now this is basically this left side. And the first thing we need to do is get this intersection between the county data and the statewide data. Because right now this is just one entire polygon and there's no data attached to it. We have two layers here, and we can once again go into vector geoprocessing tools and click on intersection. And we basically select the two layers we want to intersect. In my experience, the best results that I've gotten is using the first layer as the whole polygon, and the second layer is the layer with the data in it. And once we click run, we get this new layer that's intersection, and this is basically everything in between. This is the middle bit here, the intersection. And we can take a look, the part I pointed out earlier on. So in our Sarpy County data, there are these bits that are overhanging, and in this intersection, they've been cut off, basically. And if we look at the data behind the intersection, the precincts here are still retained, and there's still 52 of them. So this retains and preserves the precincts. Now the next part is we need to add in this difference back in. And we can quite literally take a difference. So it's this tiny sliver bit here. So back into our geoprocessing tools, we can find a difference. And here, this is, there needs to be some consideration into this. We are finding the difference between the larger Sarpy County, and we're subtracting the intersection from that. So the overlay layer should be intersection, and the input layer should be Sarpy County. And once we run that, we get a difference layer. And if we just look at the difference layer, these are all the small polygons that we need to fill in back into the intersection layer. And one problem that this causes is that in the difference layer, if you select it, everything's selected in the difference layer. And that's because back in Sarpy County, it was just one polygon. And to fix this, we can go into Geometry Tools and click on Multi-Part into Single Parts, and make sure the input layer is difference again. And once we run this, we get a single parts layer. So if we select this larger block, it's isolated from these blocks. And so right now we can get rid of the difference layer, and we can just use a single parts layer. And so in the single parts layer, we can select everything. We can copy it. And then we want to paste it into the intersection. So first we'll need to be in edit mode in the intersection, and we can paste it. And once we paste it, it'll show 136 features were successfully pasted, and it highlights all of the pasted features for us. And this is pretty crucial. So now that these are highlighted, don't click anything, and we'll go back into geoprocessing tools and click eliminate selected polygons. And what this will do is this will get rid of these individual polygons, and it'll merge it with neighboring polygons. And so we'll want to click merge it with the largest common boundary. So this polygon, it'll know that it shares the largest common boundary with this precinct to the side, so it'll just merge it back in. And we can run this. And now we get a new layer. We can deselect this now. We get a new layer that is eliminated. And we can check just by selecting a few of the precincts that they're still whole. And if we go into the data, we can still see that all of this has data, and there's still 52 precincts. And so this eliminated layer is the completely fixed layer. If we compare it to the statewide data, this fits it perfectly. And the great thing about it is that the data is still there, so there's no need to re-add everything or kind of tinker with the data itself, because it preserves that data. Comparing that with our original Sarpy County, we can see it smooths out a lot of the lines to match the statewide data. And so, yeah, that is how you would fix these gaps in between specific counties in your statewide data.